Hello, and welcome to the Nairobi Review. My name is Grace, and this is your weekly entertainment digest. This week we start on a bit of a low as we mourn the death of legendary drummer Tony Allen. Don't know who this person is? Well, neither did I. So I had to look into my contact list and contact some very learned friends who would give me the opportunity to also first of all educate me on who this person is and help me create a fantastic tribute to this music legend. Before we get to that though, I confess I haven't done much of research in particular pertaining to this week's episode. So instead I've been watching a lot of TV. So here we go, entertainment review. Have you watched Dave? The TV series on FX follows the life of white Jewish rapper Lil Dicky, who is destined and determined to let everyone know around him and in the streets that he is the best rapper alive. The TV series includes cameos from the likes of YG, Justin Bieber, and Benny Blanco. That last episode though, good job Lil Dicky, you definitely need to watch it. Back to Tony Allen. Who was this legendary drummer and why are we mourning him?
So Tony Oladipo Allen from Nigeria was a drummer, a master drummer, who collaborated with Fela Ransom Kuti to create a form called Afrobeat.
He was a jazz drummer. He was a band leader and famously known as Fela Kuti's drummer. And when Fela Kuti came back from the UK and he was trying to find a sound of his own, and he runs into Tony Allen, and this guy becomes the guy that shifts his music from high life jazz, which is what he was trying to do, to Afrobeat as we know it today.
Certainly because of Afrobeat and the powerful message that Fela put into that music, he was certainly bringing African music out of the continent to the global world, to the global market, and making, really changing people's opinions of what African music is.
He was the leader of the band, whereas Fela was the composer and the writer of the music. But Fela did not write the rhythms for Afrobeat because Tony Allen was the innovator in the rhythmic form of that music. Tony Allen collaborated with Fela for well over 15 years, I think 15, 16 years. They put together 30 plus albums.
And then, as a result, the power of African music is now really showing through with modern African music and Nigerian music in particular at the minute with Afrobeats, which is a direct descendant of Afrobeat and Tony Allen's rhythms. Burna Boy is, a modern translation of what Fela and Tony Allen were doing.
So he left Fela late 70s, moved to Europe, and since that time has collaborated with many, many artists. Damon Albarn of the Gorillaz, Ernest Ranglin from Jamaica, Hugh Masekela, Flea of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, among many.
I think we should be remembering Tony Allen today because he did so much in terms of making African music what it is today. He was also quite seminal, considering the fact that as a drummer, he did so much with DJs and other bands, He worked with, he sampled a lot in the hip-hop culture. He is, of course, a mentor to a lot of young musicians like Moses Boyd, who is definitely the future of jazz. His personal albums are definitely collector's items, which makes him legendary. So this is one guy that we cannot afford to forget. He's generally baddest musician, the grandfather, the uncle, the OG of African music.
Because he was a godfather of African contemporary music. And in a time where finally African culture is being honoured and reaching popular culture, then certainly he needs to be noticed for his part to play in that. and to keep the legacy moving on, to keep people listening to the revolutionary messages of Fela Kuti, black empowerment through his music and through those rhythms, and so that we can keep being challenged and keep dancing as well. Mostly, I think as well, his rhythm was so danceable. It was so infectious. You can't help but move your ass to Tony Allen.
So every instrumentalist we have here in our own country can look at Tony Allen as an inspirator to be able to forge a new language, to create a new form, to be able to be just as important as the vocalists at the head of the stage, but just how you approach your instrument and how you choose to engage your audience with it. And many people think that, or have said, that he's probably one of the greatest drummers that has ever lived in the 20th and 21st century. And his body of work can attest to that. So may he rest in peace, and blessings to all of y'all. Peace.
The world will miss this wizard of rhythm, keeper of time. Rest in peace, rest in power, Tony Allen. And on our new social media digest, we saw on our feeds this week that Jay's might actually be closed. Now, the home of, how I will remember it, the home of Dragonfly, this week apparently went under construction, and the whole establishment has been torn down.
Sorry. I'm really sorry to interrupt you. I think I gave you the wrong script.
Cool, but is this the time? I mean,
it's cool. It's kind of important because we don't want Jace to sue us or anything.
Okay.
I did a post this week on social media lamenting the loss of their pizza, because I kept on ordering it and it wasn't arriving, and that's when we found out that it had been closed down. But so I lamented, and they actually answered me, and they said that it wasn't true that they were closed down. They were just temporarily closed down and would be reopening soon. They gave me no information as to when, where, how, or any of that other stuff. Although they did tell me that it was still possible to order their food.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tell you where, because that would be advertising, and we weren't paid for this.
Of course. And also, plus, Jace, maybe put up something on your social media to let us know that you are still with us.
I mean, this is a Nairobi institution of the last 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the home of Dragonfly, the home of Thursday Night Live.
I don't know what Dragonfly is.
Dragonfly is the house thing that happens in the back with Eugenio,
that
Bang
most
Bang,
recent thing.
Soul.
Oh, that was fun. I had fun there.
It's fantastic.
Okay, so while we're on the interruption, there was also something else that we forgot to
that
tell
you didn't put on a whole script, you guys.
Yeah,
I know you think this is a small time production, but we have procedures and guidelines in place. What's happening?
Okay, well, what happened was, when I woke up this morning, I was reading the news, and I found out that someone called Florian Schneider had died. Now, you might well say, who the hell is Florian Schneider?
Who is Florian Schneider?
Well, okay, let me try this again. Do you know who Kraftwerk is?
Yes.
Okay, well, there you go. Florian Schneider is one of the founding members of Kraftwerk, alongside another guy called Frank Hutter or something. Frank Hutter, anyway. Every single house, techno, trance track you have ever heard in some way owes its existence to Kraftwerk. They started in the 1970s, and they basically kickstarted the entire genre. So go do some research, figure it out, guys. You gotta know this stuff. Tony Allen, by the way, I didn't know who Tony Allen was. I probably know who Fela Kuti is a bit better, but I definitely knew who Tony Allen was. But probably because of the color of my skin and where I grew up and the music I grew up listening to, for me, this Florian Schneider business, even though I didn't know his name until this morning, is absolutely heartbreaking. So I definitely think this is a week we have lost two music greats, but they're music greats because they started whole genres of music that we listen to now. You're definitely wearing the right color. I should have probably worn black myself.
Because I am in mourning, and now I'm still mourning some more.
But let me leave you. I'm very sorry. Sorry, guys. Bye. I'm sorry for the interruption. I won't do it again.
So before I was interrupted, I mean, clearly it was worth it. Now I am double sad because we have lost two legendary people who have opened gateways to phenomenal works of music in the 21st century. Rest in peace, rest in power, both of you. I honestly cannot continue with this review because I am sad now. I am gonna go, and that has been me. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Entertainment Review. My name is Grace. Have a good rest of the day.